Hey there, cutie pies. I have a question here from Mr. Steven. Mr. Steven says, my friend Somi, I've lost about 100,000 hex in the hex pulse farm. Should I take it out and leave it? I'm going to go through some yield farming things that have happened in the past and to show you how just when you least expect it, some sort of mean reversion or high volume period comes and you do eventually get compensated for your risk. However, in the short term, you don't, and it can always look dicey. In fact, it always looks dicey no matter what you do, okay? That's why this game requires time, okay? So I'm here just to let you know. So here is my reply, just to tell you, friends. So personally me, I'm leaving all my farms for 12 months. That was the agreement at the start. I've seen all the data. I've seen the Medium articles. I know the game with yield farming. I've never done it before, because it was always choosing with your money in terms of, should I leave it in a stable coin or should I leave it in Ethereum? Both of those options sucked. The best thing to do with your capital was to rotate into a growing network effect. Because if you're in a liquidity pool, you got to provide two sides. So you have to sit in two sides of something and you think, well, let's say you had $10,000. 5,000 in a coin that you think is going to pump. For example, this gentleman, Stevie, has Hex. But the other 5,000, I don't want to leave it in USDC. Because if I'm holding this for 12, 24, 36 months, I know in those 1, 2, 3 years, my USDC is still going to be $1. The yield can't possibly compensate it. And I did the maths and I want to show you the yield on it is like 50 to 90%. But you know, man, we're holding things to try and go 5 to 10 to 20x. Right, that's 2,000%. Compare that to 50%. Okay, so just to reiterate, I'm leaving all my farms for 12 months as minimum. If something comes up, something changes, I'll start to rotate a bit, but I'm not touching them, okay? So I'm here just to let you know, you have to ultimately make the decision for yourself. With these games, they do require 12 to 24-month holding. And here I got to reiterate to you, it looks like things will never turn around. I'm going to show you some examples. But the volume keeps churning every day. Remember, volume means fees. Those that hold 12 to 24 months will eventually see that it's worth it, okay? So I just wanted to let you know, we are in a special case, friend Stevie and everyone else. We are in a case where we're in the depression zone of crypto. And you can liquidity provide for two coins that are part of the same ecosystem and can pump. This is very unique. In other circumstances, there's only 6 to 12 months left of the bull market. So there's really no point providing liquidity because you might have to sell early. Like, who cares? You know, it's not worth the yield. But with this, we might have another 18 to 24 months, whereas in other cases, you've only got like 3 months. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. And thank you very much, friends, for pressing the like, subscribe, bell button, and all. We do have a juicy show for you today. So this is the Uni Ethereum chart. This is Uni ETH, all right? And let me tell you something. This is such a great example to show you because, man, I remember when this came out, I really thought this was going to go to the heavens, friends. You got to check this out, okay? So what I'm going to do is you could provide liquidity for Uni and Ethereum. And it makes sense because, okay, I know you can see right so on the right-hand side, things go to poopy town. But at one point, Uni was the hot new thing on the block. She came out, she was fiery, red hot hair, and everybody believed that the fee switch would get turned on, which means Uni is going to pump infinitely against Ethereum. Remember, Uniswap, very small market cap compared to Ethereum, very small. So it came at launch, did a swoop, and this was just the top of the bear market, the top of the bull market. But I want you to know something, okay? This chart, because it looks like it goes up and down, it gives you this false sense of security that you think, okay, it's kind of like it's going to come and mean revert again. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to invert it for you. And what we do is if you change it to an invert, now it looks like it is game over, friend. Have a look at this, okay? So what I'm doing here, so for example, you are looking at Hex and Pulse Ratio or E-Hex and P-Hex, which I'm going to show you, okay? But look at this. This is what it actually looked like. Okay, look how disastrous this looks like. Now, I'm gonna show you this, okay? Just remove the left-hand side. This is all you could see. Death, death, death. And you know, this is a weekly chart. I'm gonna change it to a daily chart just so it looks like even worse. Have a look at this, okay? You know, trust me. Please, Stevie, listen to me. Everyone, when you put a daily chart, you are a little soy boy cuck. Daily charts are for cucks. That's it. There's no other way to put it. Daily charts will give you a heart attack in crypto. They will close through highs and lows. There's so many fake outs. I've seen the data. You need to go in the W for friendship zone. W, friendship, okay? But I'm going to put it on a daily here. I'm going to be very naughty for you. Very, very naughty and seductive here to show you this, okay? So people think daily charts a big time frame. It's not, okay? It's not. So have a look at this. Look how disastrous this looks like. Look what you're looking at here. Like, this is absolute destruction. So why are we looking at this? Remember, when you provide liquidity, ideally you want this up and down, up and down, up and down, because you will get paid with the fees everywhere. You get paid with the fees. But we know crypto, it moves like this on a very long time frame. It does not move like this day to day. I mean, this is the daily chart. Look at this. This is not up and down. This is grinding forever. And look what happens. Then you eventually start capitulating now. So remember, this now chart, because I've inverted it, this is ETH versus Uni. All right, so I'm going to move this. This chart is ETH versus Uni because we've inverted it, which means this is Ethereum losing value to Uni going down right now. And why I'm showing this to you is because it felt like and it looked like this thing would keep going all the way down. And basically, you would have an enormous impermanent loss, which would become a permanent loss because you were holding so long, you were wishing and dreaming that Ethereum would catch up, but you knew deep down, Ethereum's got a big market cap, Habib. Ethereum is just too big. Ethereum is now not the hot new kid on the block. You have Uniswap is a blue chip creation. Look what happens to it. Came back. Okay. So if you were sitting here providing liquidity, you will think it's literally game over. And yeah, it took time. Yeah, this was the final wave. But I'm telling you, these things come out. Look at this. It actually comes all the way back. Now it looks like, look, you know, it's funny. Look at this. What we're seeing up here is Ethereum strength. This is Uni ETH down. So this is Uniswap being weak. People are now so sure. I even go to the Ethereum Maxi Discords, friends. I check them out. People think Ethereum is going to keep outperforming everything. They have absolutely no idea. Do you know it takes $400 million to push Ethereum up between 2 to 4%? Did you know that? $400 million on the liquidity. It takes Poopy McPoop to move Uniswap up that much. And we haven't even gotten a Hex and Pulse and PulseX. We haven't even touched them. So maybe like that is coming, but no one believes that's coming. Okay, no one believes that's coming. You know, it's interesting. If I now put it back to a weekly chart, you can see if Uni eventually gains back strength, okay, if Uni eventually gains back strength and it comes back here, I want you to have a look at this, okay? What we've actually been able to do is, yeah, this is a 2-year period, roughly. In this 2-year period, you, my friend, have mean reverted. So look at this. You had up here, you had dangerous impermanent loss, Stevie. Dangerous. You're like, I've lost up here. This is Uni being weak. That's right. You're like, oh crap, I've lost all my Ethereum up here, right? And then because Uni's weak, right? So you're giving away your Ethereum for the Uni, and then here you're like, oh crap, I've lost my Uniswap. See the pain? Impermanent loss, damn. Impermanent loss, damn. Impermanent loss, damn. Look what happens. If it comes back, most likely it will, you go back exactly to where you started. But what's happened? In these 2 years, you have been gaining fees this whole time. I'm going to show you how many fees you've actually made to do that. Yeah, it's 2 years. That's why I told you this requires time. You see these volume nodes down here? I've left this here for you. There were these periods of insane volume, lots of volume. Look, of course, ideally, right? Let's put this back to the normal chart. Let's uninvert it, okay? Ideally, yes. Ideally, you sell the top, you buy the bottom, you sell the... Of course, ideally. But we don't know this, man. This is Uni ETH. It's going to get harder with Hex and Pulse and PulseX because they're going to be more mean reverting. I'm going to show you right now. But first, I'm actually going to show you the fees because you're probably very interested to know. If we go to Uniswap v3p, this is a really cool website, Uniswap.Fish. And here you can actually play with yourself in the right way using these different buttons here. You can select, for example, here, I'm going to type in Uni, UNI, okay? And then I'm going to type in Ethereum. So I want to see, it's going to tell me what would my fees roughly accumulate to based off these poopy times? What would they roughly accumulate to, right? How much money would I make? So I have Uni and ETH, and I'll put just like a standard 0.3%. of the liquidity providing, and we'll go to calculate, and it's actually going to show me this really cool page. Like, wow, look at this. Now, remember, this is a dollar fees of $1,000. So what I'm going to do is just change it to $100,000. This is a day. This is one day. Just to let you know, don't be fooled. You see this button here? We have to click on full range, because if we don't click on full range, it is assuming that you are doing this market making inside range and you're doing this stuff, okay? Statistically, most people are better off in the full range, all right? So if you click full range, you see that the APR changes, all right? So yes, without the full range, if you're a genius, you'll make 58%. With the full range, of course, it's poopy. You are down to 4%. Yes, this is the life. But hey, it's yield, okay? You earn yield on your Uni and your Ethereum. Of course, there are better ways to do this now. We know this for the yield, but just to show you, over time, you do win. You can win. You actually come out ahead. Now, of course, this is Uni ETH. We are talking about the most premier, oversaturated coins. There's all these arbitrage going on. There's all these people who are desperately fighting for the yield. And also, I'll be a bit intellectually honest with you. If we go back to the chart, we are in a very dead zone. You see these very low volume periods down here. This estimate of yield we're getting, I don't think the real number's only 4%. Normally, it's about 10% to 15% per year. That is like given to you for taking on this risk. And this is, by the way, this is blue chips, man. You're talking about the most literally blocked up, concrete type market making, arbitrage, Uniswap and Ethereum. Anything to do with ETH, it's just huge because all these funds are here to do it. You know, here we are talking about smaller amounts of money. There are people who want to deploy this with like 5 million. They're happy to earn this 10 to 15% yield if they let like $1, $2, $3 to $5 million go. So we already know this is where the safest game is. Now, we're going to talk about Hex and PulseChain, right? Because in your example, we're talking about where we go from here. You know why I showed you this? Why did I show you this example? It's because Uni, to me, was a blue chip creation. I am shocked this thing came all the way back down, right? And I'm not shocked because of the chart. I'm shocked because the Uniswap team did not put the protocol fee switch. They played it safe because they already cashed out. I would have been scared up here because I was long Uni, right? I would have thought this thing was going to go up. I thought it was going to do this and do a higher low formation just like Chainlink, but it didn't. And that's probably because it launched halfway through the bull market. It launched in September through DeFi season, okay? So now, right, so I've shown you the fees. So even though this says 4.5%, it's probably because it's really low. It's really meant to be like 10 to 15% per year. And I've just shown you the points of pain, right? Because remember, you have pain up, you have pain, you have pain everywhere. Is this ever going to come back? If it gets back to the middle zone, that's where you're basically 50-50 again, but you've earned that yield, okay? So now I have these Hex and Pulse chart. Remember, it is Hex versus Pulse. And I'm noticing a lot of people are feeling the exact same emotions here and there. But that's because, look, if I go down to a 12-hour chart, everybody is here on a 4-hour chart, by the way. I know it's funny to see. Everybody's going nuts. With these things, people just see, we just see that, oh, it's never coming back. It's never coming back. It's going to go up forever. Look, I don't know exactly when these things are going to stop or how. All I know is I'm staying put because on average, these things, in the first 6 months, there's nothing. All right, the first 6 months. I'm not joking. Yeah, there's a bit of yield here and there. It's coming. But the big moves come when you are just sitting there liquidity providing every single day and you are yield farming and you're getting that yield and the volume ratchets up. The volume ratchets up. There are people playing the ranges up and down, up and down. You're going to have some spikes up and down, of like volume spikes of people coming in to participate. And eventually, and I really do mean, yes, eventually it comes out. Because in my mind, look at the way I see it, I was going to stake my Hex I was going to stake it anyway, you know? So this is a way for me to be long on the ecosystem to participate. Now, of course, look, you're offside here. Look, I don't know what can happen. It can go up here. It can come back down. It can do something like that. Who the hell knows, right? But it's going to be testing you with just different points, okay? There's going to be periods of pain. You never know. It might come back down here. Pain. Oh, no, I lost. Who knows, right? There might be an influx of people who want PLS, okay? There might be Hex. Like Ethereum might start rallying against Bitcoin in 2024, and then people decide, oh wow, we should buy Pulse versus Hex because Pulse is a layer 1. We want layer 1s again. Any of these things can come out, but it doesn't really matter. What really matters is the time you decide to hold. That's what really matters. And I've just shown you these fees. Yes, these fees, there's impermanent loss, both sides, up and down, up and down, up and down. Eventually, it comes back. And the beautiful part with the Richard Heart ecosystem is that they're all linked. Okay, they're all linked together because when it comes to looking at these, I showed you the example of Uni-ETH. Okay, there are people providing liquidity for Uni-USD, ETH-USD. They have half and half there, but with these, this is pretty much easy mode. You can do every combination if you want. You have your E-Hex, P-Hex, whatever it is, Hex Pulse, Hex PulseX, PulseX Pulse. You could do even the E-Hex, P-Hex. You could do E-Hex Pulse, E-Hex, PLSX. Don't forget as well, okay, just to tell you, we are in, look how low PulseChain's volume has dropped. Okay, it's dropped a lot. So what we're seeing right now is not the full picture. We will resurge again. Bitcoin and Ethereum will go up. We'll be making stuff. There'll be projects launching. On top of that, we haven't even properly implemented the order routing. So to basically grab efficient liquidity from every single pool out there to drag all of the volume up. So there's all these prospects coming out. So what we're seeing right now is not the full picture. But then again, hopefully we do get compensated for this risk. I'm just telling you right now, I'm personally holding, even though, yes, when you go and you do the calculator numbers and you check your yield, yes, you go look at the farms, you go check your liquidity, you're like, oh crap, I've actually lost the coins. But the whole point is you're providing apples and oranges on the supermarket shelf today. You're providing it today because you're saying, hey, I don't need to eat today, right? So there will be a little apple and there will be an orange as well, of course. You are providing these on the supermarket shelf. Your cute little apple and your little orange. Because you've already eaten some nice little donuts and some jelly beans. You don't need this apple and orange, right? So other people they're gonna swap between them and they're gonna pay us a fee. But at the end of the day, all that matters is at some point in the future, it eventually hits a point where you think you're done, you've got enough yield, and then we'll take it where we'll basically pick a point in time where we think, okay, enough is enough. I know a lot of people believe this is like too uncertain. It's so dark to even think about. Like, what do you mean enough is enough? Well, we don't know, right? You don't know. Is the bull market going to be around? Is there going to be heaps of euphoria at some point? For all we know, maybe these spreads mean revert, right? And the one I want to show you right now is PulseX Pulse. Okay, so this is PulseX to Pulse ratio. As you can see, we started off super low. Someone mysteriously pumped it up to 0.5, and now it's just trickling down. Risk off, risk off, risk off. You never know, we might come back here. Let me tell you something, man. Do you know how many people told me? Oh, you saw it. Okay, this is the PulseX Pulse ratio, remember. Up here, so many people. What were you seeing on Twitter? You were seeing people talking about the buy and burn, the buy and burn. Oh my God, I don't want Pulse anymore. PulseX is going to go higher. Everyone was feeling the pain of impermanent loss up here. They had lost their pulse. Now that it's coming back down, what's everyone saying? PulseX is trash, the buy and burn. What's this V1, V2? Don't worry about these words, man. At the end of the day, look, we're here to punt. We're here to punt. I think, personally, this is just me. I don't know. This is just how I see it, okay? If Uni-ETH mean reverted, if even a lot of the USD ratios mean reverted, Uni-USD, ETH-USD, a lot of these things basically mean reverted a long way. Like, for example, this is ETH-USD. Imagine you provide liquidity for ETH-USD here. Look at it, but it still comes back for you. Imagine you thought you provide liquidity up here at around 2,000. This is half ETH, half USDC. Look at that. It comes up and down, back, bang. There's impermanent loss up here, impermanent loss up here, impermanent loss, impermanent loss. You know what I mean? They eventually come back. Crypto is more mean reverty than we think, than most people think. And so, the way I'm viewing it, if ETH-USD, if crypto seems to round trip a lot, and we just saw Uni-ETH round trip, I feel like all of Richard Heart ratios, Pulse, PulseX, Hexes, I feel like over time, you give it enough time, 12, 24, 36 months, I feel like there will be a lot more mean reversion than we think. Okay, that's just how I believe it. Because philosophically, they're all tied together. So if anything is going to mean revert, it should be these at some point, okay? Now, obviously, the million-dollar question is, where do they start mean reverting? Well, that's something we never know. But the good thing is, you don't need to know. You are a baby doll pumpkin, a blueberry pie. You're just yield farming. We don't even care. That's why we live this month to month. And of course, we're actually waiting for the 12-month ticker to come, and then we'll reevaluate. So don't forget, these fees, they're juicy, man. Keep yield farming. DCA, buy what you want. I think we'll be mighty surprised, not in a week or a month or even 3 months. I think we'll be mighty surprised by the time June 2024 comes. Just like it has rewarded everybody else for taking on this risk. Don't forget, who loves you, friends? Like, subscribe, press the bell button and all. Tell mom and dad we're still going to make it. We are still in the farms, and not to panic. Remember, Uniswap.Fish if you want to check this website out. Catch you in the next one.